A mega crackdown on ISIS supporters is underway as part of coordinated operation, while Central Intelligence Agency nationwide raids were conducted against ISIS supporters and cadres in 10 states. Over 25 pro-Islamic State individuals were detained in Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Gujarat and Rajasthan. This is a multi-state operation and it is part of the ongoing war on terror that India is conducting based on intelligence inputs. They have been doing these crackdowns and currently 25 individuals have been detained. Now we're joined by Managing Editor Anand Narasimhan with more on this. Anand, do we see any pattern emerging about these individuals who have been detained, these pro-ISIS individuals?
Well, it's not just a pattern. It's a big crackdown which has happened with the recent surge in radicals and radical outfits which have been unearthed with the ATS's crackdown which had happened. Now 25 individuals have been now detained in Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Gujarat and Rajasthan. So if you count the number of states that I've just outlined, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 states, at least 10 states in our country, they are prevalent. Now, if you remember, when the butchers of Udaipur were caught, after that video that went viral and after they had butchered Kanhaiya Lal, the Rajasthan police had very clearly said that there are at least 300 individuals across India who are highly radicalized and who are part of these groups and who are now getting influenced with these kind of messages and vitriolic messages and getting radicalized via social media. The ATS in Assam, when they came down and cracked down and when they arrested Mehboob and others, and there were arrests which were made in Erode and Salem, in Tamil Nadu, the arrests which happened in Bengaluru, all of these people were highly radicalized and they seemed to be connected to similar WhatsApp groups, or the WhatsApp administrators ended up being the same. So this is all information that we have shared here at CNN News 18. We had also put out that Al-Qaeda influenced and ISIS influenced literature was also getting far more traction and it was being pushed very hard in India. More importantly, the Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, their magazines have now started being published in regional Indian languages. So it's there in Hindi and it's there in Bangla also, which is now being pushed. And we are given to understand that there is literature that's being pushed in some of the South Indian languages also. So all of this input is something which we have here at CNN News 18 and we've been sharing it time and again. And it's part of that crackdown against these radical outfits and these radical elements who on the face of it seem to be operating as on individually or as lone wolf operators, but they are all connected and somewhere these connections point to radical outfits and radical elements who are sitting in Bangladesh, who are sitting in Pakistan, who are sitting in other countries and coordinating it. In fact, one of the persons who was arrested by the Intelligence Bureau was so highly radicalized that he was directly in touch with members of the Islamic State in Syria. So that is the level to which these individuals and these elements are radicalized. And now the crackdown has begun. 25 individuals so far. We should be getting more details of these people very, very soon here at CNN News 18. Our investigations editor Manoj Gupta getting us that there has been a multi-state, pan-India crackdown, and there could be other elements also who would now be nabbed. And this is perhaps just the beginning. It's not the end. This is the beginning because there are at least 300 to 500 such individuals in smaller groups who are present across the country, who are sharing and who are part of some of these vitriolic WhatsApp groups on encrypted social media platforms. And the crackdown is just...
Well, Anand, this crackdown is from north to south, east to west. And just looking at the sheer magnitude of the states covered, this is a joint central and state operation. And also most worrying fact that this seems to be a concerted effort. And also they had plans to carry out violent attacks.
Yes, they did. Now, take the case of the Bihar module that was busted. In the Bihar module that was busted, in one of the groups, there were 181 members. So there were members who were out of the country. They were from Bangladesh, they were from Pakistan, they were from Qatar, they were from Yemen. But there were also members, nearly about 50 to 100 members from India, other parts of the country. This is something which is being seen now. And there were certain members who were common across these groups and India. And they were the ones who were pushing the videos, who were pushing the radicalization. They were the ones who were sending across instruction videos on how to knife or behead somebody, how to hack somebody, what kind of, how to prepare an IED, or how to carry out a lone wolf attack. So they were actually sending these kind of instructions via social media. And that is something which has led the investigating agencies to now not just wake up, but to also crack down on these individuals. And this is somewhere also preemptive, because if there are highly radical elements present in society, we do not know when they will strike, what could be the trigger. And they could use anything or everything as a reason to trigger their actions and try and justify it. So now this crackdown has begun. Individual state polices have been cracking down locally within their state, and there are also pan-state activities. Remember, last year in June 2021, there was a big crackdown which the UP ATS had started, and it all started unearthing there. There are modules which have been cracked down in Madhya Pradesh, where we realized that there were elements from Bangladesh who were involved. Clear involvement of the Ansarul Bangla was there, Harkatul Mujahideen are there. So the Al-Qaeda in India and also the Islamic State in India, both of these, that is these elements, use whatever names, but the idea intent is pan-Islamist. The idea intent is very, very radical, and the idea intent of these people is against the very vein of what we as India stand for. See, there is a rejection. They don't have open support, so that's why they are on the. They just float around society and try and see if they can recruit and radicalize, and if they can find like-minded people. Look at what happened in Assam. 5 districts, 11 arrests in less than 48 hours. That's the level of radical. One Ansarul Bangla operative had got shelter inside an imam in a madrasa, and that imam himself was has a dubious origin, and he's not perhaps whether or not he's really an Indian citizen, a legal Indian citizen, is a big question. But these people are operating around us, and they are a threat to society. And I think that's the reason why the officials have woken up, the authorities have woken up and said, let's just get preemptive on these strikes, and this clear internal strike across against radicalism has now started. We have been championing and we've been raising this issue that there needs to be a serious strike against radicals, because there's no place for such elements in Indian society, and these strikes have to be preemptive. You can't wait for somebody to go ahead and butcher someone or create a lone wolf attack or try and orchestrate a terror attack and then go ahead and crack down on these people. You have now the authorities, what they're doing is they are going into this, and they have perhaps decided that preemptive measures are better to nab these people, round them up, and perhaps counsel them, get them back into, de-radicalize them if possible, or if they are highly radicalized elements, then look at whatever legal recourse is there to ensure that these people do not become a threat to society.
Thank you very much, Anand, for joining us with those details. We'll leave it at that. Now, we'll take a look